With that, we'll go ahead and call the Common Council and Planning Commission joint meeting to order. Has the meeting been properly posted and the roll been taken? Yes. Item number 3 is presentation of the proposed plan amendments. 3.1 are the proposed comprehensive plan amendments for 3 vacant parcels at the southeast corner of Farrell Avenue and Phoenix Street for the Falcon Ridge Apartments. Staff want to get us started, or?
Good evening. This is Jackie Mish with Vanderwall. How's the audio sound? All right. So this evening, this is a joint meeting of the Plan Commission and City Council to consider an amendment to the city's adopted comprehensive plan. The reason this has arisen is because property owners are interested in pursuing a multi-family project. As you can see in your packet, there's a map illustrating the 3 parcels that are involved here. They're, as it was mentioned, they're at the southeast corner of Farrell Avenue and Phoenix Street. Those parcels are currently recommended in the comprehensive plan for park and open space and for regional mixed use. And so in order for the property owner to request a rezoning to multifamily, we would first need to consider an amendment to the comprehensive plan to show those parcels for the multifamily residential category. The applicant is here and can provide some more details about the specifics of their project. The project's not being approved tonight. We're really just considering the proposed comprehensive plan amendment, but they are looking to do a multifamily project that would exceed the density that is allowed under the regular zoning districts here in the city. And so that's part of their proposal that'll come forward at a later date following this amendment, should it be approved. Before I turn the mic back over, I'll just state that following the public hearing, we would be looking for discussion by both bodies and then a resolution, a favorable resolution from the Plan Commission, should that be the direction you wish to go. And then following the Plan Commission action, an ordinance adopted by the council. And that would conclude the amendment if you wanted to approve it. So thank you.
Thank you. If there's, we want to, sure.
If you want me to, yeah, I'm Ryan Cardinal Engineering. I represent Toronto. Tom Larson is here. They are looking at, and I want you to, not tie these 2 things together, but we are going to be following this right up with our proposal for this property. And so I want to give you a little taste of what it is it's going to be. Toronto owns and operates several very nice apartment buildings throughout kind of southeast Wisconsin. Here they started off many years ago, Honey Creek and East Troy, if you're familiar with that. They recently, just because of demand and the product that they deliver, have added on, and next to it now is the lofts. So there's 3 new apartment buildings, and then they have several over in Beloit. And we also have we have 2 other, we're trying to get started up in the Wanago, and they're also looking for these as well in Elkhorn. And so because of the reason why they're in all these locations, again, it's because they deliver a very nice product. It's 3 stories of living spaces, and they range from 4-bedroom apartments down to, do you have any studios in those? Just 1 bedroom, one bedroom apartments. And the great thing, even though that, like Jackie said, the density is higher, though they do parking underground, which is it's a very nice product delivery, both for the residents and the community as a whole, because it's more green space. You don't have huge paved parking lots, because they can do multiple levels of underground parking that they've mastered. And you don't really see developers doing because of the cost of constructing those, but they've mastered a way to do it. They do really nice amenities throughout their developments. They do like a pergola or closed patio for grilling, so that nobody has grills, because grills aren't allowed on decks. And then they do walking trails, and we know that there's a baseball field next door. Normally they put different amenities within their developments. like that, but since that's next door, we're looking to just tie those things together. We're gonna replace the people that park in this area right now with parking on the south side, so that parking doesn't go away for the baseball field. And then we're looking at different playgrounds. I know there's a new playground next door, so we wouldn't want to duplicate that, but maybe complement it with the development. And so if you have any questions on what they deliver, again, it's it's a very nice looking building. They've mastered again their trash enclosures because it's multiple stories. All of it's through a chute and kept in the underground parking, so people on top stories don't have to carry it down. It goes through there, and it just keeps it very orderly and very nice. And it's just a good delivered product, and it's time and tested and in demand. And they have waiting in East Troy and their other locations as well. So if you have questions on what they deliver, I'm happy to do so. But again, that's not what you're approving tonight. I just wanted to give you a flavor of what's coming. This is just the comp plan amendment so that we can pursue that. So thank you.
Thank you. If anyone has any questions now, or if you'd prefer to move right into item number 4, which is the actual public hearing. If there's no questions now, there's still opportunity to do that. So why don't we move on to item number 4, which is the public hearing regarding the proposed plan amendments. 4.1 are statements and questions from the public and read comments submitted in writing. Planning Commission and Common Council questions under 4.2. I know we've had some staff comments already. I don't know if there's any questions for staff or the developer regarding the proposed amendments.
Hi, Mayor. This is Dr. Sorby here. I just have some questions because the school district's always interested in how we're developing our growth. So question number 1 is, how many apartments would you be looking at?
277 unit buildings.
2 buildings, 77 units each.
154.
And what's the average, what's the low rent and what's the high rent that you would be charging for occupants?
I would say on the high end, it's going to be around 23 to 2,400 for the 4 bedrooms. And then on the low end, they're probably around 1,300 for the 1 bedrooms.
And then I guess I would look at it, is the city, this is really a question for you guys, prepared to have additional sewer and water and all those pieces part of that? Like, and I'm thinking that they're talking about the plot of land that's next to the park out there, which the district then owns the part of land that's on the other side of the park, right? So we're all keeping that like in understand, like I'm just trying to understand.
As far as sewer and water, yeah, we've been working with the DPW and we have preliminary plans for that.
The utility systems are more than adequate to handle the buildings they're proposing.
And I think the city knows where the district stands with things, right? And where we see our progression going in the sense of just making sure that we look at not adding additional low rent apartments or low rent facilities, because we as the school district are challenged already with the poverty that we have to educate in our district. So thank you for the time. I appreciate the questions and answers.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak or ask questions?
I guess my concern would be parking. You get 2 parking spots per unit, or is that what you're figuring? Or?
Yeah, right around, you want me to come up and get my guy?
I think it's 55 on each floor.
Yeah, so it's gonna be 2 levels of underground parking in these buildings, and it's 54, 55 in each level. And then we do surface stalls, and they've found it's roughly like 1.9 to 2.2 per unit is what they've found over the years. And so we try to average that out between the underground parking and the surface parking. But again, everybody gets underground parking, and then the over the 1.9 would be the surface level parking. So it would meet the ordinance, but then also what they've found over the years that they need per unit.
And these are considered high-end rentals, correct?
Yeah, it's not subsidized, it's not HUD, it's that's a very high-end rent in the market right now.
Have you factored in how the parking structures are going to be built, close proximity of harbors, lakes?
Do you mean as far as stormwater?
All of it?
Yeah,
Beneath the
so-
Water table, all of that.
Right, so we've done preliminaries, or not preliminary, we've done soil tests on site, so we understand where the water table sits, and then also we have to meet both the city ordinance for stormwater management and then the state DNR or law for stormwater management. Once we get into those deeper levels, you can't, once it gets inside the parking garage, you can't put it back to the storm system, you gotta put it in the sewer system. So once it gets in, but we do our best to capture it 100% outside before it goes that double level down. And then in other sites, we've pumped it back up when it's outside to get it back out again. So that it's stayed as clean stormwater and doesn't overwhelm the sewer treatment facilities. But yes, we've done our research on the site to make sure that it meets all environmental interest.
Who would be doing the construction?
I'm sorry, what's that?
Who would be doing the construction?
So Toronto is their own general contractor, so they've built all of their projects so far, and then they use various subcontractors. But like I said, you self-perform all your concrete, your carpentry, excavation, and then they subcontract out probably the mechanicals of the inside. So you have multiple crews to keep busy year round, essentially.
What's the expected cost for the project?
Awesome.
We're probably looking at about 100,000 a unit.
So roughly 100,000 units, so times 175.
15, 17.
Any other questions?
What's your timeline, like, in terms of start to finish, roughly?
Well, this one, there's two buildings, so you're gonna do them at the same time. I don't know, let's speak out.
We'll start one foundation, and then I'd like to start the other one. Typically, these two-story buildings take quite a bit of time. The first one will take 2 years, and the other one will probably fall about 8 months behind, roughly.
But essentially, once we get the approvals, they're prepared to get started. So we're looking at about 2 years from now before they're available for rent.
We also own and manage them afterwards too, so it's not like we turn around and sell our projects, we actually keep them and keep them for the long
And
haul.
are you gonna have an on-site manager on this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, so one of the units they keep for an on-site super, so to speak, for maintenance and things like that.
Awesome, thank you.
Question, if I understood earlier, it was mentioned that there may be a density compliance issue here. And that doesn't necessarily have to be discussed here, but the point that I would like to put forward is if the city chose not to allow whatever this discrepancy in density might be, how would that affect your program?
I won't speak for him. I don't believe it would work anymore if we didn't get both buildings on site. But the pluses that we see of justifying it are, again, there are 3 stories above ground of spaces, but the parking's underground. So you gain back all the green space that you normally would see with that many people on site. So you no longer have all the surface parking, so it's all black. You're getting all the green space back that you would normally have from 2 levels of parking. And again, we've worked with Public Works on utilities that are normally required for that type of density, and the system can handle it. So we feel like it's justified for where it is and the type of units that they deliver. But I certainly understand the concern. This particular, the way the ordinance reads, we have to do a rezone to the closest ordinance, and then this is a planned unit development. on top of that rezone. So this is gonna be looked at very specifically for this site. And so when we come in and deliver all of that, we'll have a narrative that justifies all of those reasons why this particular development and this particular site justifies the density that we're proposing. And we, we've got renderings of all the units and the site and how it looks. So it's not, when you hear over density, you think, oh man, it's gonna be packed in. That's not the way this site is gonna look when it's done. And so we'll bring renderings to kind of show that, so to speak, what that finished product looks like. Does that answer your questions?
Would the city care to speak to what, we have no idea what this discrepancy might be.
Jackie?
I can do that.
Yeah, thanks.
So the city's RM12 zoning district would allow a maximum density of approximately 12 dwelling units per acre. And what they're proposing is probably going to come in at around 28 dwelling units per acre. So about double, but it's a large lot. It's a very large piece of property. And as the applicant explained, a lot of the parking is underground. And so there's quite a bit of green space on the site. So when you see the site plans, you'll see kind of what I'm describing. But considering the size of the lot and the fact that a lot of the parking is underground, it seems appropriate in this location. And then again, this is something that we get to hash out when this application comes forward too. So approving the comprehensive plan amendment this evening does not guarantee anything for this applicant in terms of having that development approved, but it would be the first step in moving that forward.
I just wanted to ensure that the developer understood that there is a potential that the density issue might not be acceptable.
Not a guarantee, exactly.
Thank you.
We have to build a retention pond.
That would be up to the developer as part of their project, if they need to handle the stormwater runoff from this development on site.
Any other question? Well, actually, I did have one question myself. I know early on there was some discussions about a potential dog park at this complex. Would that be open only to the residents, or is there a public potential for others in the community to use that, or is it just strictly, again, for the residents of that complex?
So, originally with these types of developments in other locations, we've done our own playground with it. So because it is very family type apartment. But since the city just recently, I'm not sure for the city, but the park next door just recently had a new playground put in, we are looking to complement that. And so one of the staff comments, and like you said, Mr. Mayor, is instead of the playground, do something different. So we're looking at making that more near the parking, and and I believe, Tony, I didn't get to chat with you, but it sounds like we would be open to that if the city was interested in making that open to the public. There's no opposition from the developers to say this is only this development dog park. It would be open for the city if the city has interest in that.
Thank you for the clarity on that. Any other questions? Planning Commission members or the council?
With the parking, I'm assuming that's going to be residents only, or is there any capacity for other people to use it? Will it be gated? How is that going to be handled?
Yeah, so they have garage doors, and so it would be residents only for the underground parking
Yes.
of these units. So yes, it'd be residents only for the underground parking. They have a garage door opener that gets them access in. And then, but like I said early on, is we're planning to put community parking on the south side of the development that would be accessible for the city, for people at the park, people at the baseball field. And so whatever parking that lot is currently being used for, whether it's supposed to or not, it's being used for parking right now. We're looking to, not take that away from the community, but supplement it. So there's an entire row on the south side that would be open to the community.
Great. Any other questions from planning commission members or members of the council? If not, I would close the public hearing at this time and move on to item number 5, which is response to the public hearing questions, consultant and city staff. I know we've had some response. Are there any others at this time?
Mayor, I don't have anything else to add.
Thank you, Jackie. Then we would move on to item number 6, which is discussion of the proposed plan amendments, planning commission and common council discussion. Any other questions? Seeing and hearing none, I'll move on to item number 7 then, which is consider resolution recommending plan amendments to the common council from the planning commission. Anyone care to make a motion from the planning commission at this time?
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to adopt the resolution recommending amendments to the comprehensive plan's future land use map, map 5, which involve changing the future land use categories for 3 tax parcels as depicted in the map provided by the city planner dated June 2nd, 2022.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing and hearing none. Maybe we have all in favor, I guess, of the motion from the planning commission at this time signified by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. With that, then I would entertain a motion to adjourn the planning commission portion of the meeting.
Second.
And a second, all those in favor of adjournment signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Thank you, planning commission members. We'll move on to item number 9 then, which is consider the ordinance adopting the plan amendments by the common council. Is there a motion by the common council?
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to adopt the ordinance amending the city comprehensive plan future land use map, map 5, which involve changing the future land use categories as depicted in the map provided by the city planner dated June 2nd, 2022, pursuant to section 1001 subsection 4 subsection C Wisconsin statutes.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing and hearing none. All those in favor of the motion signify by stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Item number 10 is common council adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Make the motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor of adjournment signify by stating aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned this part of the meeting, and I'll see the common council here in a minute or two.